Hello, I am Muhammad Wajid Raza, and today we are going to discuss a very important and a bit tricky function, the SUMIFS function, and the course name is Microsoft Excel. SUMIFS is a function to sum cells that meet multiple criteria. SUMIFS can be used to sum the values when corresponding cell meet criteria based on date, numbers, and text. For example, an IT store sells laptops, mobile phones, earphones, and headphones. There are 3 salespersons in this store, and we want to see how many laptops are sold by a specific salesperson. In this specific case, we can use a SUMIFS function because there are multiple criteria, there are multiple products, and there are multiple salespersons. So if we want to know the sales of a specific person and a specific product, we will use a SUMIFS function. So this is the syntax of a SUMIFS function. We can see that you have to write SUMIFS and then sum range, comma, criteria range, comma, criteria 1, criteria range 2, and criteria range, and so on. So here I have put only 2 criteria, but it depends on your case. You can use more than 2 criteria in a single SUMIFS function. A tricky difference between SUMIF and SUMIF function. Recall that in the last lecture we have discussed SUMIF function, and now we are discussing SUMIFS function. So the basic difference is in SUMIF function we have to mention a single criteria, but in SUMIFS function we can use more than 1 criteria to fulfill the required objective. And another key difference is that you just focus here. The sum range is first argument in the SUMIFS function, while in the SUMIF function the same argument does not come first but it comes last. This is very tricky and you have to be very careful with this. So in the SUMIFS function you have to start with the sum range, then you have to specify the criteria range, and then finally you have to specify the criteria. But opposite to this, in the simple SUMIF function you have to mention some criteria range first, the criteria second, and in the last you have to mention sum range. For example, this is the data of an IT store where there are 3 salespersons and they are selling laptops, cell phones, earphones, and many products, and we want to know how many laptops are sold by Asad, how many laptops are sold by Salim, how many laptops are sold by Rahim, or in the same way we want to know how much cell phones are sold by Salim. So in this case we have 2 criteria, like a specific product and a specific salesperson. So in this case we have to use SUMIF function. In order to understand it better, let's practice in Excel. So this is the same data that I have shown in the slide. Here I want to see how many laptops are sold by Asad. So in these products I have to focus only on one product, which is laptop, while in these salespersons I have to focus on a single salesperson, which is Asad. So there I have an answer of 12, which is the result of SUMIF function. In order to get a similar answer for Asad, we can repeat this formula. All you have to do is write equal to SUMIFS, and then you can see that it wants detail from sum range. So this is my sum range where the quantity is mentioned. So I'll put this one, then comma, then it wants criteria range. So my criteria is my first criteria is in this column, so I'll mention this cell, and here I want to see the sales of laptops. So in criteria I will mention laptop. So first criteria I have mentioned here. Now the second criteria I want to fulfill is a specific salesperson. So here you can see it is looking for a criteria range 2. So my criteria range 2 is here, and I have to mention the criteria, which is Salim in this case, and close the parentheses and enter. Voila, here you see that the total laptops sold by Asad are 12, total laptops sold by Salim are 7, and if we want to look at Rahim we have to repeat this exercise again, but be careful, we have to select SUMIFS function. So again you have to put the sum range, comma, the first criteria range, and then you have to put the criteria, which is laptop, comma, then the second criteria range is here, and now you have to put the criteria, but this time the criteria is Rahim, so I will enter Rahim instead of Salim or Asad and enter. Here you go. So in this way it's very helpful to sum values of different criterias, and it's more helpful when you have extremely larger data set. It makes your labor very less, it makes the task very easy, and we can easily find the sales of any salesperson related